Stop bending when your spirit wants to rise. Stop forcing a smile when something inside you says this is enough. Your value was never meant to live inside someone else's comfort. Say what's true without apologizing for the sound of your own voice. Walk your own path, not the one others place at your feet. The world doesn't need a nice girl, it needs you. Nice is sweet on the surface. It's the fast smile when you're tired inside. Nice often folds under expectation, agreeing when silence or even disagreement would be more honest. Nice can turn into a disguise, sewn together from politeness, fear of tension, and the deep need to be liked. Nice says yes while the heart whispers no, and over time, that quiet habit rubs away pieces of who you are. Kind is not the same. Kind comes from truth. It carries integrity even when it isn't wrapped in softness. Kindness doesn't exist to keep everyone comfortable. It exists to make things better. And sometimes better shows up as honesty, firmness, or clear limits. A kind person may say no, but they won't be cruel. A kind person may tell you something hard because they care more about who you're becoming than how comfortable you feel right now. When you live as nice, you often give up your power. You trade your voice for the illusion of peace. You become the one who smooths over silence, laughs at jokes that aren't funny, carries more than your share so others don't have to. It looks generous, but inside it can feel empty. Niceness can become a quiet cage, built from your fear of disruption. You shrink so others never feel uneasy. Kindness asks more of you. It takes courage. It means being willing to be misunderstood. It means risking disapproval. Real kindness asks you to speak honestly even when your voice isn't steady. It asks you to respect your own needs while still honoring the humanity of others. This isn't about being agreeable. It's about being real. The nice girl learns early that smiles open doors. She learns that softness gets rewarded and that silence earns approval. Over time, though, she feels the cost. Her dreams wait while others chase theirs. Her yes becomes automatic, even when everything inside her wants to say no. And when she's alone, she wonders if anyone truly knows her, or if they only know the pleasant version she's been showing the world. Kindness doesn't ask for that mask. Kindness lets you stand straight, speak clearly, and say this is who I am without shame. It teaches you that disagreement isn't unloving, that limits aren't selfish. And that honesty serves more than endless accommodation ever could. Being nice may make you liked. Being kind earns respect. Niceness looks for peace at any price. Kindness looks for truth, even if peace has to wait. Niceness avoids discomfort. Kindness understands that discomfort is often how growth begins. We live in a world that rewards nice because it's easy to manage. Nice won't rock the boat. Nice won't speak up when something is wrong if it risks breaking polite silence. But kindness has strength. Kindness challenges unfairness even when it's inconvenient. Kindness refuses to laugh at cruelty dressed up as humor. Kindness says this isn't right when everyone else looks away. Kindness isn't passive, it moves. It steps in when someone is treated unfairly. It tells the truth when pretending would be simpler. It protects those who can't protect themselves and doesn't ask for recognition. The difference is simple, but it changes everything. Niceness wants to be liked. Kindness wants to love well. And love doesn't always look gentle. Sometimes love is firm. Sometimes love is the friend who tells you the truth about yourself. Sometimes love is the parent who says no when yes would be easier. If you've spent years being nice, the idea of stepping away from it may scare you. You might worry people will leave, misunderstand you, or call you selfish. Some of them will. But the ones who truly value you will stay, and the connection will be stronger because it's honest. When you choose kindness over niceness, you stop performing. You begin speaking from your center instead of your fear. You learn that your worth is not measured by how many people you keep happy. You trust that those meant to be in your life will respect your truth. You stop bending when your spirit wants to rise. You stop smiling when your soul says enough. You stop letting niceness be the rope that keeps you small. And you step into the space where kindness lives, where truth and love move together without fear. That space is protected by boundaries. Boundaries are the quiet lines you draw around your time, your energy, and your spirit. They aren't walls meant to shut people out. They're gates that decide what is allowed in. A boundary says, I respect myself enough to choose how I'm treated. It's a clear statement that your well-being is not up for negotiation. Without boundaries, life becomes open ground. Anyone can walk in, take what they want, and leave marks behind. You say yes when you mean no. You answer every call. You carry problems that were never yours. At first, it feels like generosity. You tell yourself you're being helpful, you're being kind. But slowly you feel drained, overlooked, unseen. Your kindness starts to turn into resentment because nothing is refilling you. Boundaries stop that slow loss of self. They aren't selfish, they're necessary. A tree doesn't apologize for strong roots or a solid trunk. It knows that without them, it can't stand or give shade. You're no different. You can't keep giving without protecting the source you're giving from. Setting a boundary is telling the truth. This works for me. This doesn't. It's being clear about what behavior you accept, what you'll give your time to, and what remains sacred. It teaches others how to treat you, not through arguments, but through consistency. When you say no and mean it, when you walk away instead of accepting disrespect, you aren't being cold, you're being whole. Boundaries also bring honesty into your relationships. Without them, you invite people who take without care. With them, you create a filter. Those who honor your boundaries honor you. Those who push against them show you who they really are. Boundaries are truth in action. And truth has a way of revealing who belongs in your life and who does not. Many people avoid boundaries because they fear rejection. They believe saying no will make them unlovable. But the opposite is true. Boundaries don't weaken love. They give it something solid to stand on. Without them, you offer a diluted version of yourself, agreeable, accommodating, but not real. With boundaries, you arrive as your whole self, willing to be honest without fear. Real connection cannot exist without that honesty. When you first start holding boundaries, some people will resist. Those used to your constant yes will struggle with your no. They may label you distant, difficult, or selfish. Remember this. The people who gained the most from your lack of boundaries are often the most unsettled by them. That is not a reason to stop. It is evidence that the boundary is doing its job. A boundary is also a gift to others. It teaches responsibility. It shows people where they stand. It allows relationships to grow from respect instead of assumption. Just as you do not want to be handled carelessly, others deserve clarity about how to treat you. Boundaries create shared safety. They remove confusion and the quiet resentment that builds when lines are crossed without awareness. They also return your time and energy to what truly matters. Without boundaries, years can pass living on other people's schedules, responding to every request as if it were urgent. With boundaries, you pause and ask, is this mine to carry? Often the answer is no. And inside that no, you discover room for your own goals, your own calm, your own joy. There is a quiet strength in someone who lives with boundaries. They are not shut down. They are present and deliberate. They understand they cannot be everything to everyone, so they choose to be fully themselves for the people and purposes that matter most. They know self-respect is not built by words alone. It is built through choices, actions, and the daily habit of honoring what they need. Boundaries are not walls against love. They are the structure that keeps love steady. They ensure that when you give, it is from choice, not pressure. They protect your heart from being drained by constant demands. They create room for respect, balance, and a life where your worth is never questioned because you have already claimed it. Your voice is not decoration for polite conversations or background noise to keep others comfortable. It is not meant to be softened, trimmed, or shaped to please those who prefer your silence over your truth. Your voice is power. It carries your thoughts, your beliefs, your dreams, and your boundaries. To treat it as decoration is to reduce the core of who you are. Many people learn early that their voice is only welcome when it agrees, when it calms instead of challenges. They learn to speak without disruption, without friction, without discomfort. But a voice that never risks disruption never fully lives. Your words are not here to fill space. They are here to shape it. When you silence yourself for too long, something inside you fades. You nod when you want to question. You laugh when you want to object. You agree while your heart pushes back. Slowly, you begin to believe your perspective does not matter, that your truth is too heavy, too complicated, too inconvenient to share. But silence does not protect you. It confines you. Your voice exists for a reason. It is how you set boundaries, stand for fairness, express care, and create change. A decoration stays still. A voice moves. It reaches, it connects, it can comfort, unite, or stop harm before it grows. It can tell your story before someone else tells it wrong. Using your voice does not always mean speaking loudly. Sometimes it means speaking steadily, even when fear shakes inside you. Sometimes it means saying no when yes is expected. Sometimes it means asking the question no one wants to ask. The power of your voice is not its volume. It is its truth. Some people will try to keep it soft, agreeable, harmless. They may say you are too emotional, too direct, too much. What they really mean is that your truth disrupts their comfort. Remember this. You are not here to protect someone else's comfort. You are here to live honestly. Your voice is not meant for universal approval. If you speak only to be liked, your words will bend to match other people's expectations. You will exchange honesty for applause, authenticity for acceptance. They may applaud, but you will know you left your own voice behind. Courage often grows in the moments that feel hardest. Speaking up when something is unfair, admitting when you are hurt, asking for what you need without apology. Each time you do this, you strengthen the link between who you are inside and how you live in the world. That alignment is freedom. Your voice is not decoration because your life is not a display. It is alive, active, and powerful. Just as your body needs movement to stay strong, your voice needs use to stay alive. When you speak your truth, you give others permission to do the same. You create ripples you may never witness. Your voice matters in small moments too. When you correct someone who mispronounces your name, when you speak up for yourself at work, when you say that comment is not okay. These moments may seem minor, but they build the foundation of self-respect. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It rarely comes. Do not wait until fear disappears. It may never fully leave. Speak anyway. A shaking truth is still stronger than a comfortable silence. Your voice is not an accessory. It is part of your life force. It holds your experiences, the fire of your beliefs, and the beauty of your hopes. To hide it is to hide yourself. Let it be heard. Not to decorate, not to please, but to define who you are in a world that will always try to decide for you. No matter how much you feed it, it always asks for more. You can give it your time, your energy, your achievements, your charm, and it will still sit there waiting for the next offering. It is never satisfied because it was never meant to be fed. It was meant to be controlled. The need for approval often starts quietly. You are praised for being polite, for doing well, for meeting expectations without complaint. You learn the warmth that comes from hearing, "I'm proud of you," or "You're so good." Without noticing, you begin shaping yourself to keep that feeling alive. You smile more. You agree more. You hide the parts that might invite judgment. You become skilled at being what others want. but the rules keep changing. What pleases one person disappoints another. What earned praise yesterday is ignored today. So you run faster, trying to catch a moving target. The hunger grows because it feeds on your effort, your need to be seen as enough in someone else's eyes. Approval is dangerous because it can look like love. It can feel like belonging, reassurance, safety. But approval is conditional. It is given when you meet expectations and withdrawn when you do not. When it disappears, you may feel empty, restless, not enough. That feeling can push you to chase it harder, to reshape yourself again, to perform a version of you that earns praise, but feels hollow. The trap is that approval always lives outside of you. It depends on opinions, moods, and biases you cannot control. One person may admire you. Another may dismiss you. One may value you. Another may overlook you. If your worth rises and falls with those shifting views, you will never feel steady. Freedom comes not from cutting off connection, but from feeding yourself from within. Self-respect is nourishment approval cannot replace. When you act from your values instead of someone else's expectations, you reclaim your power. When you choose what is right for you, even if it brings disapproval, you remember that your worth was never meant to be awarded. Letting go of approval means accepting that some people will be disappointed. You will say no when they want yes. You will stand when they want you quiet. Some will label you selfish or difficult. But those who truly care will not remove their love because you set limits or spoke honestly. Those who leave were attached to the performance, not the person. The approval that truly matters is your own. The real question is not, do they like me, but do I like who I am when I am with them? Not did I please them, but did I stay true to myself? This shift may seem small, but it is the difference between living as a reflection of other people's desires and living as the source of your own light. Approval will still try to pull you in. It shows up as a look of admiration, a social media like a compliment that makes you stand a little straighter. There is nothing wrong with enjoying those moments. They are human. They are natural. The problem begins when those moments become your compass instead of a passing breeze. Admiration feels good, but it is not direction. When you stop feeding that hunger, something surprising happens. It starts to lose its grip. It may still make noise now and then, but you will see it for what it really is, an echo of old habits, not an order you must follow. And as it quiets down, you begin to hear your own voice more clearly. That voice is the one meant to guide you toward the life you are here to live. A life not built on applause, but on authenticity. The hunger for approval is never satisfied, but you can stop being the one who keeps it alive. You can choose instead to feed what grows your soul. Self-trust, courage, truth. And when you do, you are no longer a performer waiting for someone else's approval. You become the author of your own applause, and that sound is enough. You were not born to nod along while the world writes your story in someone else's ink. You are not here to soften the truth, just to keep everyone comfortable. Your purpose is not to maintain peace by sacrificing your own spirit. Being agreeable may earn polite smiles and short-term approval, but it can cost you your voice, your boundaries, and the core of who you are. Agreeableness is not the same thing as kindness. Kindness has courage. Kindness tells a hard truth because it cares enough to be honest. It says no when no is required. Kindness can stand alone in a room full of agreement and say, I see this differently. Agreeableness, too often, is about avoiding tension. It is about making sure everyone feels okay, even when you do not. You are not here to be a mirror reflecting what others want to see. You are here to be a window, showing the world something new, something real, something that only you can offer. That means there will be moments when you must disagree, when you must speak up, when you must interrupt a chorus of yes with a steady no. Some people will resist this. Those who benefit from your constant compliance may label you difficult, ungrateful, or rebellious. They may say you are causing problems when all you are doing is refusing to pretend. Do not confuse their discomfort with proof that you are wrong. Often, their discomfort is a sign that you are finally standing in your truth. Disagreement is not about creating conflict for its own sake. It is about honoring what you value. It is about refusing to stay silent in the face of injustice, even when silence would make you more likable. It is about protecting your time, your energy, and your dignity, even when others are disappointed. You are not responsible for earning approval. You are responsible for living with integrity. Agreeableness can become a cage if you allow it. It locks you into the role of the peacemaker, the pleaser, the one who always bends so others do not have to. But bending too often makes you fragile. You cannot live fully if you are always reshaping yourself to fit someone else's comfort. To step out of that cage, you must learn to hold your ground even when the room feels tense. You must understand that disagreement does not equal disrespect. You can speak with firmness without cruelty. You can challenge ideas without attacking people. And sometimes, you must be willing to leave the table entirely if staying means betraying yourself. Living without the need to be agreeable is freeing. You begin to see that your worth is not measured by how many people approve of you, but by how honestly you can face yourself at the end of the day. The world does not need another polite echo. It needs your clear, unfiltered voice. There will still be moments when you choose agreement. Not because you fear disagreement, but because you genuinely align with what is being said or done. The difference is that now it is a choice, not a habit. You agree when it feels true. You disagree when it does not, without apology. You are not here to be agreeable. You are here to be alive. And real life sometimes means rocking the boat, standing alone, or walking away. It also means knowing deeply that your voice matters, your truth matters, and your life is not meant to exist for someone else's comfort. It is meant to be lived in full color, with clarity, courage, and conviction. Not quietly, not secretly, not in a way that asks for permission. Love yourself in a way the world cannot ignore. Love yourself so fully that your presence carries the proof. This is not arrogance. It is the simple act of reclaiming what should never have been questioned, your worth. For too long, many people are taught that self-love should be quiet, modest, almost invisible. You are told to put others first, to minimize your strengths, to shrink so no one feels threatened. That is not love. That is erasing yourself. Loving yourself out loud means rejecting the idea that you must apologize for living fully. It means honoring every part of who you are, even the parts others do not understand or approve of. Loving yourself out loud begins in your mind. It is choosing to speak to yourself with the same care you offer others. It is refusing to insult yourself in your own thoughts, refusing to let your inner voice be harsher than the world already is. It is looking in the mirror and seeing more than flaws. It is recognizing your wholeness. The words you give yourself become the base of your confidence. From there, your self-respect begins to speak without hesitation. It also shows in how you treat your body. Loving yourself out loud means resting when you are tired without guilt. It means feeding yourself what gives you energy and moving your body from joy, not punishment. It means wearing clothes that make you feel alive, not just acceptable. It means taking up space instead of folding yourself smaller. This kind of love changes your boundaries. When you love yourself this way, you no longer accept disrespect, manipulation, or neglect. You stop explaining your worth to people who are committed to missing it. You step away from places, people, and patterns that demand you shrink just to belong. You do not lower your voice to fit rooms that cannot hold your truth. Some people will not like this. Those who are comfortable with the version of you that serves them may resist the version that serves you. They may call you selfish, difficult, or full of yourself. Loving yourself out loud means understanding that their discomfort is not yours to fix. Your responsibility is not to be small enough for everyone. It is to be whole enough for the right ones. It also means allowing yourself to celebrate openly, feeling proud of your work without brushing it aside, speaking honestly about your strengths without pretending they do not exist, saying, "I did this," and letting that stand. This is not about ego. It is about joy. When you love yourself this way, you give yourself permission to chase what makes you feel alive. You try new things without fear of looking foolish. You laugh without checking who is watching. You move, you dance, you enjoy, simply because it feels true. That joy spreads not because you are trying to impress anyone, but because it is real. And perhaps most important of all, loving yourself out loud teaches others how to treat you. The way you respect yourself sets the tone for how others will respect you. When you value your time, others learn not to waste it. When you honor your dreams, others understand they are not optional. This kind of love takes courage. It means choosing yourself when blending in would be easier. It means standing steady when disapproval blows hard. Each time you do, your voice grows stronger, your steps grow surer, and your life begins to reflect your truth, not someone else's